Hi and welcome to another episode of Toby's Barbecue Corner. Today we're making ultimate barbecue beef ribs with corn on the cob and sweet potatoes. Now what you need for it and how to do it, I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is what we need for today. Now obviously we need beef ribs, and these are 2.7 kgs. Short ribs. We need a couple of corn on the cob, your favorite rub, some salt, some butter, you need some mustard, you need some barbecue sauce, and of course some sweet potatoes. The Kamado is heating up and we're looking of a temperature somewhere between 120 and 130 degrees. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take care of the meat. Now technically, you know, there is a little bit of silver skin on it, but not too much fat. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to trim like this loose piece off here and set it to the side. On this side, you know, where you have the silver skin, you can try taking it off. It's fairly difficult, so let's give it a try with this one. And if it doesn't work, then well, don't fret about it. But let's give it a shot. Well, it's coming off a little bit. So it should be okay. Alright, all taken care of. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some mustard as a binding agent for our rub. But if you know me and how I like to do my ribs, whether that be pork ribs or beef ribs, you know, you can use mustard, you can use olive oil, you can, yeah, pretty much use anything. But I suggest you do use something because, you know, it obviously makes it a lot easier for the rub to stick on. So just make sure you get all the sides. And then we're going to season it with the rub. I'm going to use the Beef Sensation rub that I got in one of our local groceries. But obviously that's entirely up to you what you want to use. Now don't worry about the mustard part. The mustard will not really add to the flavor. Simply because it won't be on for long enough. But it will really help for the rub to stick. Alright, there we go. And now we're going to use our rub, make sure it's nice and sticky, and then it's already going to go on the barbecue. The barbecue is sitting at 120 degrees and we're now going to put on the meat. Obviously everything indirect. And we're going to smoke it now with applewood chunks for about 3 hours. Now with the sweet potatoes, what we're going to do is we're just going to halve them without obviously cutting our fingers. And then we're going to take a little skewer and basically just puncture some holes into it, but only into the flesh, not into the skin. And then later on we're going to put them for like an hour or so on the barbecue as well. Add some butter over it and let them cook, and then we're going to scrape them out. And as a final step of the process, we're just going to sprinkle some Italian herb seasoning on it, and that should do it. 15 minutes later, the corn has gotten some color, so let's quickly finish this off. So we're going to take a nice little bit of butter, add some salt to it, and then we're going to wrap it and set it to the side until we put it on about an hour towards the end of the cook. And that should give it ample time, you know, to melt and give us some great tasting corn on the cob. The first 3 hours are up, and let me just show you what has happened to them. They've gotten a lovely bark, and some of that bone is already showing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add some of the blueberry, chipotle and chili barbecue sauce right here in the center. And then we're going to put them meat down right in the center. Oh, check this out. Look how much is already exposed, so it really made sense to remove the silver skin. And now we're going to wrap them and we're going to put them back on the smoker for about 2 hours. Two and a half hours later, the meat is ready and we're going to remove it. Now we're going to either let it rest in an oven at about 70 degrees or you just cover it with a towel. That's totally fine. The Kamado remains at 130 degrees, and what we're going to do now is we're going to put on our corn on the cob as well as the sweet potatoes, and we're going to put a few slices of butter onto our sweet potatoes. Right guys, resting time is done. I can't wait. So let's unpack this and look how juicy that stayed. And it is boiling hot, Jesus. Even after the resting period, it is still hot. And look how much the bones have retracted. So let's very gently move it around. And obviously, you know, the bark will suffer quite a bit. Now, if you had wanted to have a cross bark, I would suggest you, you put it on the smoker back for another half an hour or so to crisp up that bark. But for the sake of this argument, we're not going to do it. So let's do the center cut. But yeah, this is lovely. Very nice. So, I'm going to prepare the final plate and then I'll see you again. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video about the ultimate barbecue beef ribs with corn on the cob and sweet potatoes. Now, it was super delicious. You know, it just shows you spend a little bit more money on good quality meat, and obviously it will repay you afterwards. So it was really succulent, it was juicy, it was delicious. Smoking the corn prior for about 15 minutes really made a difference as well, both in terms of color as well as texture and taste. And the same, you know, obviously with the sweet potatoes, you know, with the butter, that really made it worthwhile. Now, if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate a comment and a thumbs up. Please head over to that subscribe button for more great videos to come. And I hope to see you soon again at Toby's Barbecue Corner.